Welcome to the worst episode ever. Yeah, the series where I dig into the most infamous episodes of beloved shows and ask, what went wrong? Today's victim, the Flintstones, and the episode, Jealousy. I know, how could a show as iconic as the Flintstones have a worst episode? Trust me, they all do. It's possible. Fans on IMDb agree. I can explain. Paul here, actor and former radio host, and self-appointed arbiter of bad television, at least according to the fans of the show. Let's talk about the Flintstones for a moment. This was the animated sitcom that paved the way for primetime cartoons like, yes, The Simpsons, Dope, and Family Guy. It wasn't just a kid show either. It was aimed at adults, with plenty of jokes that, it flew right over children's heads faster than Dino chasing a brontosaurus steak. But in all its charm, even Bedrock had its rubble moments. Yeah, that pun was intended. Now let's dive into Jealousy. Aired on March 11, 1966, and it was Season 6, Episode 23, the final season. It's almost always the final season you find these clunker episodes. Anyway, here's the setup. Fred Flintstone, in peak selfish mode, decides that bowling is more important than taking Wilma to a fancy ball. Hurt and frustrated, Wilma calls up her old flame, Wilbur Turtlerock, who is rich, suave, and everything Fred isn't, except loud. Wilbur agrees to escort her to the ball, leaving Fred stewing in jealousy back at the bowling alley. But Fred, being Fred, can't let this slide. Enter the Great Gazoo, a tiny green alien with magical powers who turns Barney Rubble into Barbara's Fred's hilariously awkward date for the evening. Barbara, yeah, you heard that right. Barney in drag as Fred's +1. Fred crashes the ball with Barbara in tow, determined to win Wilma back through sheer embarrassment tactics. Chaos ensues. As Wilma confronts Fred about his behavior, and Wilbur realizes he's better off without getting involved in all that Flintstone drama, it ends. The episode wraps up with Fred apologizing, sort of, Wilma forgiving him, again, and life returning to bedrock normalcy, which is to say stoned-themed dysfunctional harmony. All right, before I get into why fans hated this episode so much, take a second to hit that notification bell and like this video. Helps me keep this series alive. Trust me, there are plenty more worst episodes to talk about and cover. All right, so why did Jealousy earn this dubious distinction? Let's speculate, shall we? Fred's unlikable behavior. Yeah, Fred is often portrayed as selfish and hot-headed, but this episode, man, cranked his flaws up to 11. Choosing bowling over his wife's happiness kind of felt less funny and more infuriating. Then you have Gazoo. While the Great Gazoo added some fantastical flair to later seasons, many fans, like myself, felt his presence detracted from the show's original charm. I never liked him much. His voice was so condescending. I know he was played by Harvey Korman, but still. Anyway, turning Barney into Barbara was a gag that kind of felt forced and out of place. Let's be honest here. The Jealousy storyline also wasn't new for anyone. The Flintstones or sitcoms in general. By 66, audiences were likely tired of seeing Fred mess up only for Wilma to forgive him without much consequence. Another reason you ask? Well, while Wilma calling up an old boyfriend was bold, she ultimately ends up forgiving Fred without much resolution or growth in their relationship. A recurring issue in how their dynamic was written. Also, Betty wasn't in the episode. Just saying. Hey, maybe I'm getting too deep here. Or not deep enough. Anyway, it is what it is. The prehistoric train wreck that is Jealousy. What did you think? Did you see it? Did IMDb get it right? Let me know in the comments below, please. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into TV disasters. Should you watch this Flintstones episode? Fans say yabba dabba don't.